Your 2024 college baseball national champions are the Tennessee Volunteers. That's right. Tennessee baseball beat the Texas A&M Aggies 6-5 in Game 3 of the College World Series Finals on Monday night to capture the first national title in school history. That's right. The first national title for a major sport on the men's side since 1998, the football program. The first major national title for a major sport, period, at Tennessee since the Lady Vols in 2007, 2008. That's right. Tennessee has done it. And let's be honest, you all thought they were going to blow it, didn't you? We all thought it was going to happen. Everybody who has covered this athletic program for the past 25 years just knew that once Texas A&M was able to get the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the ninth inning, which they had multiple times, it was just going to happen. I mean, Aaron Combs surrenders a run after giving up 2 base hits. Then he surrenders another one on a wild pitch. Dylan Loy surrenders 2 runs. Tennessee was up 6-1. It ends up being 6-5. You just knew Tennessee was going to find a way to blow this game, but they didn't. They held on. They didn't make it easy. They obviously lost on Saturday. Then they went and won on Sunday after trailing 1-0 into the 7th, and then they won tonight to win the series. A lot of things kind of went into this that are shocking. You know, the funny part, the greatest bit of irony is, as unlucky as you may think Tennessee is, the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament in baseball is unluckier. The last time the number 1 overall seed won the national title in the NCAA tournament was the Miami Hurricanes in 1999. Tennessee was the number 1 overall seed this year. They went and ended that drought. They won it. By the way, back in 99, Tennessee was defending national champions in football. Just saying. Tennessee sat there and broke a college baseball curse on behalf of itself, but again, did not make it look easy. They worked you all the way till the end, even when you thought they had breathing room, didn't you? Just admit it. You didn't think they were going to do it at the end, but they did it. A lot of points I want to hit on with this. I first want to give Tony Vitello a lot of credit. And I don't mean just because of the fact that he won a national title. That's easy. The way he went about it, hindsight's proving him right. And I have a column on this up now on the site. Tony Vitello's patience really paid off for Tennessee in this series. Remember, everybody was critical of him starting Chris Stamos on Saturday and not just going with a Drew Beam, Xander Zegras rotation, saying, hey, let's just try to get our 2 best pitchers out there and win the game. Well, that turned out to be the right decision. And it was the right decision for a couple of reasons. One, Beam and Zegras were clearly more rested on Sunday and Monday, so they each pitched masterpieces, allowing both 1 run. That was it. Meanwhile, Tennessee was able to work Texas A&M's pitch count. Finally paid off for them in this game in the 7th inning, when Texas A&M brought in the best closer in baseball, Evan Aschenbeck, who had only given up 1 run the entire NCAA tournament. And what happens? Brett Amick singles, Dylan Dreening homers, and Kavaris Tears hits a double that sends Hunter Ensley home after he singled to shallow left. By the way, I want to point this out. That was the greatest slide in history to score that run, and that slide proved key after that wild pitch in the 9th inning. Every one of those plays was crucial. They all came after 2 outs, which is the other story of this. Tennessee's baseball team kept scoring after 2 outs. I believe 5 of their 6 runs were after 2 outs in this game. All 4 of their runs in their 4-1 win on Sunday were after 2 outs, and this was what Tony Vitello banked on. Because the idea was get your best players out there early, try to get your team a lead, give your team a little bit of a break so there's not pressure. He banked on the idea that his team was capable and equipped to deal with pressure when it came. So he felt that he was going to strategize to be able to have his team set up for a 3-game series if it had to be that. And it ended up having to be that. And that clutchness and pressure that he banked on his team being able to handle turned out to be true. Dylan Dreening obviously speaks for himself with that clutchness. He homered in all 3 College World Series games. He was 2 of 2 on the night with 3 RBIs, a homer. He is the MVP of the College World Series. He is everybody's clutch, by the way. Christian Moore's clutchness finally showed back up. He hits a homer to lead things off. Blake Burke was 2 of 4. The guys that you needed to step up in this game stepped up. Hunter Inslee was 204. Kavaris Tears was 204. Dean Curley was 204, but Dean Curley made a couple of critical mistakes. Didn't have an error in the field, but should have turned a double play, but fumbled the ball. And then also, while he drove in a run, he tried to get aggressive and take second and then was thrown out. But he still was 204, and so you got to give him a break, and he drove in a run. You got to give a lot of credit to all of those guys, but the truth of the matter is this comes down to the fact that Tony Vitello, again, banked on his team being clutch and being able to handle pressure. So he decided, I'm going to make sure that my players are set up for success from a personnel perspective on the back end of this series if it has to go there, and I'm not going to panic if it does end up going in the back end of the series. And that's exactly what happened. And so because of that, Tony Vitello is easily the best coach in UT men's sports. I mean, guys, I'm going to go here. I think there's a strong argument that Tony Vitello is the best men's sports coach for Tennessee outside of Robert Nealon. I mean, he's on that level now. Think about what he's done. He took over Tennessee in 2017. He was hired in 2017. His first year was 2018. He had them in the NCAA tournament in 2019. COVID hit in 2020, so they didn't have a season. 2021, College World Series. 2022, number one overall team through the Super Regionals. 2023, College World Series. 2024, College World Series National Championship. Two SEC regular season titles. 2 SEC tournament titles. Tennessee baseball this year, the SEC regular season title, the SEC tournament title, the number one overall seed, and the College World Series National Championship. They literally accomplished everything in a year. Tony Vitello is a superstar coach, the best recruiter in the game, and the best at in-game management, and the best at psychologically dealing with his team. Again, he did a great job of he bets on his team's mentality and mental toughness to be able to handle pressure. A couple of years ago, that kind of worked against them because they put more pressure on themselves with the way they rubbed everybody's face and how well they were playing. This year, though, it worked in their favor as things went wrong, including that wild pitch in the end. It didn't matter. The final 5 outs for Tennessee were all strikeouts. Tennessee struck out the final 2 of the 8th inning and all 3 in the 9th inning to capture this College World Series National Championship. Another point I want to make about Tennessee athletics, because we've been talking about the Directors Cup, and this is crucial. They've been leading the SEC in the Directors Cup consistently since Danny White took over, but they weren't able to bring home any hardware. Bringing home hardware here is a huge deal and sends a huge message of where this program is going. It is a huge, huge, huge deal. And I think that legitimizes these Director Cup standings that they keep talking about. Another point, Tennessee now has a national title in the program in terms of major sports. They have one in football, women's basketball, and baseball. With the way Rick Barnes is recruiting, it ain't crazy to think that they might get one in men's basketball soon. And they should have had one in softball back in 2007. Monica Abbott pitched a flawless NCAA tournament that year, but she had no run support in the final 2 games against Arizona after getting a 1-0 lead in the College World Series. But still, Tennessee baseball now, after what fans had to suffer through so many different coaches and eras, that was a huge, huge win. Travis asked, was Jeff Kent at the game? Yes, Travis, he was. His son his son hits for Texas A&M. So yes, he was at that game, as was a ton of people related to Tennessee. You saw Peyton Manning, Rick Barnes, Danny White, obviously. Just a who's who of Tennessee legends. Even Dave Serrano, the coach that Tony Vitello replaced, showed up. And he said at one point, I didn't get it done, in a very classy move. I believe his son is the first base coach for Tennessee right now. This game, by the way, had a comedy of errors that could have cost Tennessee. 2 crucial base running mistakes, including into the top of the 9th. And also the 3 wild pitches at the end, one that allowed a run. But so Tennessee did not make this easy. They had not been making a lot of things easy all year. I'm sorry, bottom of the 8th was the base running error. That was where Cal Start was caught stealing third, who still makes a lot of offensive mistakes. But the truth of the matter is Tennessee baseball is the national champion. They are sitting on top of the world. And I just want to bring up a few things. The last time they had made the College World Series Finals was 1951. Tennessee football won the national title that year. Tennessee baseball is the first number 1 overall seed to win the national title since 1999. Tennessee football was defending national champions that year. Could this be an omen that Tennessee football will win a national championship with Nico Iamaleava at the helm later this year? That is the question everybody is asking. I told you guys for a while, Josh Heupel was all in on 2024, but I have to say that there are now more omens in favor of Tennessee, and that's going to make this very interesting going forward. I'm going to have a lot more on the show tomorrow. This is just a quick recap, but there will be a ton on the show tomorrow. We're going to have John Adams. We're going to talk more about Tennessee baseball winning the College World Series championship. Most baseball coverage we've ever done on our show. We're primarily a college football website, and that's what we focus on. But this college baseball, when your team is winning, I will say it's a fun thing to cover. I've never been to the College World Series. That is officially now on my bucket list. Looks like one of the most fun things to take part of. But I have to say that I think Tennessee baseball is sitting on top of the world now, and the fans deserve it. One downside of news of the night, to where they even deserve it a little bit more, Tennessee football did not win out on number 1 class of 2025 edge rusher Isaiah Gibson. He has committed to Georgia. He committed to Georgia, I think a little bit before the first pitch of this game. A lot of Tennessee fans thought they had him after he visited Tennessee last week and then decommitted from USC right after his visit to Tennessee. But it looks like he was always leaning towards Georgia. But who cares about that? We got plenty of offseason to talk football. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball just for the next couple of days. Tennessee, I believe, with the 9th inning now, here's the crazy part. This was as close of a series as it could get, by the way. As close of a series as it could get. The total runs for the series, Tennessee scored 15. Texas A&M scored 15. 15-15. Tennessee won the series 2-1. That's how close it was. But that's also how clutch Tennessee was. And yes, I meant to bring this up. Thank you, Travis. Tennessee baseball has won 60 games. They finished the year 60-13. That's right, 60. They won 60 games in baseball. Another huge deal, something you really can't overstate. There is no better program on Rocky Top right now than Tennessee baseball. And this may not be the first for Tony Vitello. I mean, the guy is obviously young, and Tennessee is going to do whatever they can to keep him. And before I get out of here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this too, we got to give John Curry a shout out. Guys, John Curry is the one who found Tony Vitello. He hired him as an assistant back in 2017. And a part of me really wonders a lot of times, if John Curry didn't have Jimmy Haslam breathing down his back and forcing him to make a terrible hire in Greg Schiano, and if he could have had the free reign to make the hire he wanted to make, could he have made the right football hire for Tennessee at the time? And would he still be sitting as athletic director? Because he's the one who found Tony Vitello. And that was a heck of a find. Just something to think about. I mean, look, Danny White, for all his great hiring moves, has not delivered a national championship with his hiring yet. John Curry just did for Tennessee, the shortest tenured athletic director. And all the athletic directors throughout the decade of dysfunction is the one that delivered a national title with his hiring. Got to give John Curry credit. Shout out to him. But major shout out to this Tennessee baseball team. Major shout out to Tony Vitello. Enjoy this, Tennessee fans. You deserve it. I know it's a Monday night. Maybe use this as an excuse to not call into work on Tuesday. Try to party it up. Maybe Tennessee's not done either. Again, Tennessee basketball and Tennessee football have potential national championship caliber teams right around the corner. And for the record, I said softball should have a national title. Tennessee softball is a top 5 program right now with Kieran Weekly leading them. So lots to go on here. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Again, Dave and John will be back tomorrow. I want to thank you guys all for tuning into this. Tennessee baseball wins the national title after taking 2 of 3 in the College World Series Finals against the Texas A&M Aggies. Again, we will be back Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Please tune in then. Dave and John Adams, I'm sure will have a lot more to say on this. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys have a rest of your night. With Caleb Calhoun, this has been a special presentation of Off the Hook Sports.